This is one tech channel on YouTube. Once again talking about the economy. To protect your business from loss, from falling. We want you to be successful. And I would like to tell you that the first thing you should think, where does the money come from? That money your client bring to you. You say, they come from the boss. And where does those clients bring from to your boss? Where does they get money from? Can you think and go to the deepest part of it so that you can get to know where does money come from? As I would say, money comes from bank. Who takes the money to the bank? I just want to remind you that there is international monetary law which is controlled through central bank of your country. Central bank, there is a law which says to print money for your country, you must export more than you import. So when printing money, you must dwell on profit. Export minus import. Now, can you think the money coming in your pocket and the way you are spending? If you overspend and the money coming in your pocket, what happens? You will start getting lost. You will be forced to go to seek loan to refurbish your business. What about if business doesn't make a profit to cover the loan you took? Now, a country like Kenya has been importing more than exporting for almost 15 years by now. Import at an average of 1.7 trillion against the export of 780 billion. What has happened? You know, there in central bank, the money you go to import product with is withheld until you export and recover it back. Failure to that, your money gets devalued. To protect your money from being devalued, you have to run for the loan from international so that you can balance the money you have at your local circulation and the money going outside. You know what happens? If you don't do that, you get lost. Your economy will have low circulation of currency on the ground. When you have low circulation of currency on the ground, this means your economy is not growing per population growth. When the population grow more than the economy, now everybody starts thinking how to chase the money. You chase money, you become a broker here and there. The loss is crippling you here and there. Here we are talking about discipline, respect and responsibility, balanced with energy, knowledge and wisdom, so that each and everyone can know his role in economy of the nation. You know what happens when you don't export more than you import? Now, the problem will go down on the ground. Why not? Those at the top will start practicing machinua, wanajitaga wajuaji, mjuaji. Katikati ni mutiaji, chini ni mchiniaji. Wao ukicheza ujuaji wako pale juu, mchiniaji naye anakuchezea hapa chini. So what happened? Your economy will finally fall. And when it falls, there will be increase of insecurity. You will be forced to invest in security and the technology to protect your business and you. Some people thought they were very clever that they were stealing from a chain of supermarket where they were employed. When the chain of supermarket fell, the owner was asked, why did this chain of supermarket as strong as in East Africa did fail? He said, my worker, they are not honest. They were stealing. They were thinking they are clever. Now it is did fall. Where are they? The problem is, the origin of this problem is commercialization of basic need. And when you don't get the basic need in time, you will start thinking, oh, can I steal something from where I work? I can't. Then finally, everybody is doing it. Everybody is doing it. You know what happened? The company fell. When it fell, you are jobless. You get into the same problem. The origin of that problem is you did not reward per economy those people who export. So when those farmers were exporting, an example is coffee and the tea farmer who were exporting and bringing foreign currency in this country. Most of them were so much oppressed, they could not continue with exporting. So the country fell in the trap of importing more than exporting in processes because some were not happy, they reduced their export. Not because they wanted, but because of the pressure of the market. What it is rewarding them. Now, there's problem everywhere. You see people fighting here and there, killing each other from home, homicide, everywhere. Children being killed, family killing each other, even security officers finally turning to each other. Why? Because there is no circulation of currency. And the money is badly devalued. This is the repercussion and the consequence. So we must return to look how we can export more than import, so that we can reclaim the lost time and we return to the integrity, to the honesty. So that you have energy, knowledge, and the wisdom, but you balance it with respect and responsibility and discipline, you can turn it into wealth. And you can be able to pay tax. And that tax you pay, you get the job to the return. So, what is the role of government in the economy? The government part is to provide security. Second is to provide shock absorbing when there is international economic crash, which happens because the other market, they have broker like your market who are swindling the provider of foreign currencies. When this choke come and reach in your country, it mostly go on the ground and affect the people on the ground. And when these people are are suffering, they are unable to pay taxes. They resort to the vices. The danger of extreme commercialization of basic needs finally catch up with you. Even in Europe, basic needs are not commercialized. In fact, farmers are subsidized. Sometimes they are paid even without farming. They don't do farming this season. Slow down. We don't pay you. They are paid. Why? Because they have to make sure that their economy is matching at the balancing import and the export. You think you are very clever? You can pay with the right of exporters. Now what will you do with the law at central bank? That devalues the currency. You can't print money without the profit of export. You print it gets devalued. So you have seen most of the country having currency which are so badly devalued because they defied the rule of buying and selling. Remember, the money you are handling, it only plays a middle role in the economy. You can't eat that money, and you cannot do without it. You need that money to buy. The middle role is exchange. And the exchange of money means that you only dwell on a profit. It doesn't have a profit. Know what will happen? Your business will collapse. The economy is like a water reservoir. There is entering and leaving. If leaving is more, that leaving is equivalent to importing. While entrance is exporting because it is bringing. The reservoir there has a level where it holds. It cannot release. It cannot get in during dry season. Remember, your population is still growing. So even when you are stagnant, there. So you must make sure you export more than you import, so that the circulation of currency in your country can be held. Now you see big businesses are falling, just like small businesses. You can imagine where about between 80 and 90% of business are started, they don't get 6 months. They don't get through 6 months. Say 4. Why? You can cook good food, say at your hotel. People want to eat, but they don't have money. You take things into the market, and then you find that at the end of the day you are throwing too much of it. People are not buying. They want to eat, but they don't have money. Where will they get money from? You must remember the person who exports. He's the most important person in society. Because you tax come from circulation of currency. If circulation is poor, the poor tax payment will cost your nation. So, what I'm trying to bring through this One Tech television channel is to remind you the repercussion and the consequence if you doesn't match with monetary rule. No matter where you are, no matter even in other countries around the world, monetary rule are the same. Such people, those institutions which control money, they have no nonsense. They are just, they play it like us the way it goes out with the sun. And the moon make it rotate. Next year they repeat the same. The economy wheel is the same. When the economy wheel lose one of its tools on the gear wheel, just like the vehicle here when you put a gear, the same is the economy. It start having problem. You steal from your boss. Next time you steal it, you think you are doing good. When the wheel rotates, you will pay for it, direct or indirect. So, when we talk about the economy, we are trying to make everybody understand his position. You don't abstain your duty by economy. You obtain it, you will pay it. Either direct or indirect. And that is why I'm talking about extreme commercialization of basic needs. For example, health. You only think you are very good when you are health. But when you get in trouble like an accident, you end up being rushed to the hospital. And the doctor says he is stealing from patient. He see you coming driving a big car, or you have been brought with a big, you look at the bus. He overcharge you. He write even more disease than you don't have. Because he is now putting up some rental house somewhere. While it is not the role of individual to provide those housing, it should be role of the government. Then he will call his site manager and they ask him, hey, how much is it? How much? I tell you, you will be the one who will build that house without your disease. That is one danger of commercialization of basic needs. Because he wants to survive, he wants more money. Then comes the time of paying the house rent. A tenant might get an accident there and get broken his leg. He is the provider of his family. Then he failed to pay the rent. That doctor has allowed you to come and lock the house. Then your family go to the cheaper until they go to the street. After going to the street, what happened? You bring somebody unstable in the economy of the nation, somebody who cannot pay taxes. So, if government cannot build houses for it, it should pay those landlord when somebody abstains to pay, because he paid taxes, whether direct or indirect. And he can live health right so that tomorrow he can provide his service to the nation. Now you see the danger of commercialization of basic need. It is time each and every one of you to think, what are we doing with our economy? You keep stealing from one another. That is very bad. Where everybody wants to steal. You steal here, they say. Then without knowing, you are endangering the time of your children when they come here. You get in that problem. Can you imagine you bring up your child very healthy, take him to the best school, go all the way to university, only to meet with those children who went to the street and he get injured or he get even killed. So when you are thinking about the adding, you must think about the minus. You think about the buying or consumption, you must think about investing. So the role of each and everyone in the economy must be looked after so that you can achieve good economy. And the economy which supports each and everyone. For a nation to move out of the problem must look all the way. All the available energy, knowledge and wisdom. That when you took brokerage, that your government doesn't know, there must be somebody to go to look for it. You know, somebody that there is a broker between even a government and a government institution. Know what happened? You are removing money supposed to be invested in the right way from the chain of circulation. You divert it to your own flamboyant life. Yes. That person who meets the government services, his children, after a few generations, or to the next generation, you will come and disturb your children, who you think you are doing well to them. And it's not here in Kenya alone, it's the whole world. That is why you see monarchies countries are doing very well economically. Because they have the final decision maker. There is for trouble in most of the economy, especially those following democracy. That one is extreme commercialization of basic need. 3 equal arm of government. When each equal start quarreling and fighting, the sufferer is taxpayer. The next is privatization of national wealth and national services. That ideology which was imposed in countries like Kenya since 1985. It came and it finally backfired badly. Then they tried to bring another ideology called public-private government cooperation. It is also backfiring. Why? Because the government role is stolen from its services. Another problem is that differentiation and differentiation of currencies using import and export. Now imagine import of 1.7 trillion against export of 780 billion. That loss of 920 billion to cover it so that you be allowed to print strong currency. How long will it take? That is why government should be in charge of between 51% to 69% of economy operation in every nation. Then the public should have at least 25%. Private sector should control around 5%. Or 15, between 15% and 5%. So that when the trouble comes, even that private sector can run to the government for help. But what about you go to a broke government, then it run to look for loan. Yet the nation is not exporting more than import. How will that loan be paid? They keep either devaluing the currency or they go to the loan. To make sure on the ground there is good circulation and health of currencies, government must return to invest and to own it institutions which provide services, affordable services, choco-absorbed services, subsidized services. The next topic, we will talk about circulation of currency on the ground. Today we have just looked at the major issue affecting local and international trade, where the profit of export, it controls your economy. Thank you so much. This is One Tech Television, which look at economy and creativity and research. That is an economy research by Wajohi Nyamu. Thank you so much.